This is this
Yeah, ask for what future focus. Turn away from the hocus pocus. Like pro-choice to pro-life. No looking back, Lot's wife. Believe me when I say this, there is no condemnation. I simply want to protect the lives of this next generation. His love that covers all.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Doves Confirmed with Charlie and Sharon. Look who's back.
I am.
Are you feeling better?
Yep.
Things.
Good day yesterday, good day today, so I'm good.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we want to welcome you guys to the broadcast tonight. And of course, I'm just giving you an update. We had to pre-record this because once again, we got some things that we have to do with our grandkids. And so it always happens on the nights that we want to broadcast because I would rather be live. Yeah. I really would. But this tonight cannot be helped. But anyway.
Well, we're live. Just rewind it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm tired of this. Who do you trust? You know, because my wife and I, Sharon and I, we got into a good discussion last night because I get a lot of videos that she sends to me, right? And man, some very interesting stuff that's going on. And she finds a lot of stuff that, man, makes you scratch your head.
Yep.
But this one she didn't send to me. I found this on my own. And you guys, you have to ask the questions now. We have to ask these questions. Everything that man has said is bad. Now it's time for us to say, wait a minute. Why are you saying that it's bad? Why are you telling us to stay away from this and you want us to do this? It's like the other day when she went shopping, she wanted to get some lemons and stuff like that. What type of lemons were they?
They're seedless.
Seedless.
Yeah.
Man says that that's the best for you. But how can a seedless lemon really be good for you? Where did that lemon come from? In order to have a true lemon, it has to come from what? A seed, which God created.
Yep.
This is the season that we're in, everyone. Man is trying to replace God, without a doubt. Now, God created man in his image and according to his likeness. And one of the things that I said to you last night is this. God, you know, if we as men, if you are not with God, you are against God. There's no middle ground. We have so many people now in industries, in with different big giant tech companies and all of these big industrial companies and conglomerates, all of these people that are calling the shots, they have decided that, oh no, we don't believe in God and we don't believe in the devil. Well, there's no gray area, everybody. Yeah. There are absolutely no gray area. There is no in between. Either you with God or you're not. So since you don't believe in God and you don't believe in the devil, I'm sorry, you are with the devil.
Yeah, and with the whole seed thing, it's a matter of control. Like we were talking about, if you have fruit or you buy fruit and there's no seeds, then that fruit that you just consumed cannot be reproduced. However, if you just had one seed out of that fruit could multiply and produce hundreds of its original.
Yeah, that seed can produce, yeah.
Exactly. So the one lemon that may have 5 seeds, one seed, that's all it takes to make one tree that can produce hundreds and hundreds of lemons for years to come. Right. But that's what they don't want us to do. They want to control our food and control our environment and control everything. So one way is, like I said, what are key things that we need as human beings just to exist? And I'm not talking about your faith with God. I'm talking about physical things that we need to exist, and that's water, food, and shelter. Mm-hmm. So those are things that we need to exist. So they're trying to control all of that, including our food, where we eat, what we eat, mm-hmm. where we live. Yep. They're trying to control that in these little cities that we have noticed that are being set up everywhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth areas. There are housing going up everywhere in their apartments. So they want to keep you confined to certain areas. So it's all a matter of the hierarchy wanting to control the lower level people, and the middle people, where a lot of us are. That's who they don't want to be there, because we can think for our own self. I'm not saying that lower people can't, but we have a different level of education, so we can say, wait a minute, hold up, we're not the worker bees.
Yeah. Well, demographically, financially, we stabilize this country. The middle class really does.
Yeah.
Okay? It's stabilized. It's the small businessman that keeps the job market going.
Yep.
It's the small businessman, and that's what they want to get rid of. They want to get rid of the middle class, the small business, so that the ultra rich can rule over the ultra poor.
That's all it's about.
Yeah, that's all this.
Getting rid of the middle person, because we are in their way of being in total control.
Okay, and I found this, and I'm going to play this video. I want you guys to see this, because look, I was under the impression that lead was bad. Get rid of all lead in your house. Don't have any lead coins. As a matter of fact, we was getting ready to move from California back to Texas in 2019. We had all of these gold coins. We had all of this silver. And so at the time, we didn't have enough of the finances to really get us back to Texas. So we had to sell some of our gold, and we got good prices for our gold. But the guy was going through our coins and the gold and everything. He came across this lead coin, and he said, "Oh, get rid of that. That's dangerous. That's poisonous. You don't want that near you." Guys, I want to play something that's very interesting, because the one thing that I want to point out, guys, is this. Lead is a natural substance that was created by God, not man. But man is saying it's bad. Don't have it near you. Check this out.
Listen, there's a whole, back in like the 50s or the 60s, they had a whole movement going on. I might have the decades mixed up. Y'all do the research, but they started saying, the children are eating paint chips. And because there's lead in the paint, we need to start removing all lead paint from now on. Right? Because I know you've heard about lead paint, right? Yeah, no more lead paint. Why? Because the babies is eating paint chips. In your lifetime, have you ever seen any kid eat paint chips before?
No.
You, any paint chips? No? Okay. Anytime you want somebody to do something without thinking, just say it's hurting the children. You know what I'm saying? Why would they want to remove lead paint from the homes?
Because
Here we go.
of technology, because of it blocks radiation.
There we go.
It blocks radiation.
Look at them neurons firing. Superman is all powerful. But hey, put that kryptonite in a lead box, he won't know it's there. So how else am I gonna get frequencies, 5G and all that stuff to permeate through your walls and through your home, affecting you, so I could see through your house and see your body and connect with you as a network, if your paint got lead in it and I can't get in there? So get some lead paint, y'all. You didn't hear that from me.
Is it still?
Yeah, there's still lead paint. Yeah, they got EMF shielding paints and everything. It's a listen, there's a whole back in like.
That's very interesting, guys. Very interesting, because look, I used to think, especially when that guy said, get rid of that lead coin. But something inside of me back in 2019 said, don't get rid of that lead coin. Don't throw that away, because he said it was worthless. Guys, lead was created by God. I found scripture, okay? I found scripture. Genesis 1, okay? I'm sorry. Job 19:23 through 25. This is what God says about lead, because Job got the revelation. Listen to this. Oh, that my words were written. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book, that they were engraved on a rock with an iron pen and lead forever. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth. Here's another scripture about lead. Numbers, chapter 31, verses 22, 23. Check this out. Only the gold, the silver, the bronze, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that can endure fire. Okay? You shall put through the fire, and it shall be clean, and it shall be purified with the water of purification. But all that cannot endure fire, you shall put through water. God speaks about lead. There's other scriptures that speaks about lead being a valuable substance. So look, everything that God has made, okay, has a purpose. Everything that man made has flaws.
Yeah. And I think the problem with lead is that, just what you said, man has interfered with the natural resource and utilizing it inappropriately.
Yeah.
That's the key. Because if you think about it, there's certain, and you just named the different elements there, but like your microwave, you're cooking your food and the microwave goes into your food, and it was wonderful when the microwave came out. Everybody loved the microwave, and I love it still to this day.
Yeah.
However, you cannot put silver plated anything or gold plated anything in your microwave because the microwave cannot penetrate that substance.
Right.
So what are they trying to hide from us? What's the truth? What do we need to do as far as research and find out these different elements that God created that man has manipulated so that it becomes harmful to us? Because lead poisoning, that's a true thing. But what did man do to lead to cause it to be harmful to us? And so I told Charlie, one thing that I want to do is go to the library and get some really old literature and old books and start reading up on that before they have been tainted by man now, in our time.
Yeah.
So that they're manipulated to how they think, not how the real, true scientists thought.
Come on.
And wrote in the past.
Come on.
That's what I want to do.
No doubt. And look, guys, anything that is done in that's overdone, okay, anything that you overindulge in can be harmful. Yeah. I remember seeing and reading a report. This was several years back at a college where they were what do you call it? Bringing people into a fraternity. I can't think of the name, but initiation. Yeah. So they were initiating these people, and they made this one a young man drink gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons of water. Now our body is 80% water. Okay, so our body is made to have water, and water is a good thing, right? Because God created. Man did not create water. God created it, right? But he overindulged in drinking this water. Guess what? He died. He died. He overhydrated himself. So anything that we overindulge in can be deadly. You overeat, glutton. That's why the 7 sins. Look at the 7 sins. God breaks all of this stuff down on what not to do, because if you do this, you will bring harm to yourself. But man said that lead is bad. And did you hear what that young man said? Because that is true. Lead blocks radio waves, atomic rays, radiation. That's what I'm trying to say. It blocks that stuff, okay? There's a purpose for lead, but man has said lead is bad. And in that video, sweetie, I read the comments. There were so many people saying, oh, come on now, you guys are stretching it. Lead poisoning is real. You don't need lead in your house. That's what they have sold. That bag of rotten potatoes, they have sold to the masses, saying that lead is bad. I'm just using this as an example. Who do you trust?
Yeah. Well, when you go to the dentist or you go anywhere to get like x-rays, the first thing that they put on you is an apron. And inside that apron, they have to have so many milliliters of lead in there. So it has to be so thick so that radiation doesn't penetrate you and you're getting radiation in a part of your body that they're not targeting. So if you're going to get something done in your mouth, then they put an apron, and they also put an apron sometimes as high as here so it doesn't mess with your thyroid, because too much radiation is deadly for you. So they
Come on.
shield your body. So again, there is a purpose for lead.
There's a purpose for lead, but they saying that it's bad. Okay, that's what they're saying. Everything that God has made, it has a purpose. Okay, and just like that gentleman said, he said, no lead paint in your house. Okay, have you guys heard of devices now, infrared spy equipment that they can see through the walls of your house? They could spy on you. Now, a conspiracy theorist person would say, you're just crazy. Hey, man, it's real. It's legit. If your house had, if our painting, like the paint that we have in this room right now, is not lead-based, okay? But if it was, no one would be able to spy into this house because that lead would protect it. Now, our cell phone service will probably suck, but that's okay. The point of the matter is that lead is something that God has made, and we've been sold, and people have been eating a bag of rotten potatoes because man says lead is bad. Everything that man says is bad. It's just like let's use marijuana. You know, oh, that's so bad that I don't smoke marijuana, never have in my life, but the stigma around marijuana is, oh, it's a drug and you get high, but it has many
That's simply
medical benefits.
like we were talking about. That's simply because of pharmaceutical companies and money. It's all about money and greed. So anything, God has made many, many, many things that are natural substance around us. Just take, for example, a dandelion. A dandelion that we cut up because it's a weed. We consider that weed in our yard, where I go and collect them. You can make dandelion tea. They have lots of healing components to every part of the dandelion, from the flower to the stem to the root of the dandelion. But we don't want that. Not we. They don't want that.
Yeah.
You know why? Because
Yeah.
they want to push.
We know what you meant, though. We
They
know what
want
you
to
meant.
push their artificial pills. They want to push their artificial chemicals that they have made in the lab so that they can make a lot of money. They want to push all these things against cancer treatments when there's natural elements that can kill cancer cell, like soursop or soursop. I hope I'm saying that right. There's a powerful fruit that's more powerful than any type of chemicals that the scientists can create, and these big major companies can create. So God has given us many and multiple things that are around the earth to for healing purposes that we can utilize. Excuse me.
You making me clear my
Sorry. However, because man steps in there, let me get some water real quick. Frog in my throat. But man has stepped in and taken over it. So they want the control, they want the money, they're greedy, instead of looking at that person and see what alternatives. And I know there are some hospitals that cancer treatment service that do utilize natural and also man-made products, which a lot of those patients have a better outcome. So we need to just stop listening to what they say is better for us, because what they say, I don't have my Bible in here, what the Bible tells me, that's what I need to go off on.
That's
Those
right.
natural things that can heal your body. And I know a lot of y'all say, well, you know, you're always off, you're always hurting, your back is this and blah, blah, blah. Until I am healed of this back issue, and I know God's going to heal me of that, I have to keep doing what I have to do to just to be able to sit up in this chair. You know, it's my fault that I spent years in working extra shift, not wearing a proper gear to protect my body. So you are responsible for protecting your body, your temple, feeding it correctly, getting exercise, doing all the things that you need to do to maintain your body. So I don't put this on anybody or any other than myself. Of the multitude of hours I used to work, you know, double shifts and all that. That's what's created the pain and the breakdown of my body, because I wasn't taking care of my body. So if anything I can say today to you is take care of your body, take care of your temple, feed your temple. You know, go in your cabinet right now and look at some of the labels of the foods that's in your cabinet right now, and look how a lot of it, because I did this the other day, I found quite a few, and it
Yes,
says
she did.
bioengineered. So anything that's man-made is not good for you.
That's right.
And that product is put in that food item to make you
Sick.
okay.
We should have sung. I should have did a third
Make
above
you
you.
sick. Yeah. So
So
I mean,
true, man.
a lot of stuff that we just kind of close our eyes to it, and we listen to the media and we listen to other things and say, well, it's got to be so because they said so. Well, yeah, we've been programmed to think whatever thus saith them is the truth, but it's not that thus saith them. It's what thus saith him. Is what's true, what God is telling us. And
Yeah.
he gives us a roadmap of
Right.
what to eat, what not to eat, what to do, and what not to do. It's a roadmap, not the
Right.
scientists.
Right.
They
So
have
true.
a motive behind that.
Yep, they have a motive. Look, this whole broadcast is focused on it's time for us to trust God. In the book of Proverbs, it says, those that the fear of man will bring a snare. The fear of the awe of man, the trust in man will snare you. It will kill you. But those who trust in the Lord, there is safety. There's safety in trusting in God. Man, that television and everything that we're seeing on television now, I'm not saying turn your TVs off because we watch television. We watch television, but learn to discern. Because when they start telling you the minute the world comes on and say, this is bad, this is good, this is bad, this is good, you have to take that with a grain of salt. You're going to say, no, I'm going to go to God. And I'm going to find out exactly what is good and what is bad with this that you are telling me about. Okay? Look, who started the first? I just want to ask everyone, who came up with the whole idea of reality TV? Okay? Okay? And this is pre-recorded because now I can't see any comments, but I want you to put in there, who do you think came up with the whole idea of reality TV? Well, it was MTV. Now reality TV is so strong right now. But reality TV is 90%, 95% of it is really from the pit of hell because of everything that they do. Now, the shows that she watches, the nature shows, they're not part of that percentage. But I'm sorry, man. Every time I see it, the Atlanta Housewives or the and all those women, man, they just bickering and they fighting all the time. That's strife.
Yep.
That's strife. That's to me. But anyway, I don't wanna get on somebody and offend someone that you like these shows. But what I am saying and what I'm about to play you is, who do you trust, guys? Because MTV was the first network that started reality TV. It was with the Honey Boo Boo, whatever that, what was it, Jersey Shore, I believe it was. Even before that, they had another show. MTV started reality TV. Well, guess where MTV headquarters, one of their main headquarters, where they created a lot of these shows. Check this out.
Now with the Forerunner Chronicles, and right now we're in downtown Toronto on Yonge and Davenport, and as you can see, I'm in front of a Masonic temple, but that's not all it is. Check this out. That's right, as you can see, this Masonic temple is actually MTV Studio. MTV Studios actually bought this Masonic temple to shoot programming in here. And this is just additional information to help you understand everything that we've been talking about in the videos, how they actually try to tap into this occult power so that they can influence our minds with this media. That's what's going on right here behind us at this MTV studio building, which is nothing more than a Masonic temple. Ladies and gentlemen, wake up. This thing is serious.
MTV and their reality series with Honey Boo Boo and all those people, do you guys remember how popular that show was with your children, with our kids? It was very, very, very popular. And the ideals came from MTV, and they shot a lot of that and did a lot of that from that Masonic temple. Guys, look, this battle is real. It is really, really, truly real, guys. And it's time for us to begin to, and this is what's happening. We are waking up. I really, truly believe that people are waking up. They are beginning to see it. So please don't be offended if you're like the Atlanta Housewives and all of those type of shows. I'm not condemning you. But what I am saying is that, man, when I see it, guys, you have to say, wow, why is there so much strife? Why is there so much, all of this stuff that's going on? All of this stuff that is happening. And we're just not talking about, I just don't want to talk about reality TV. Come on, guys, we can go back to the 70s. We can go back to the 70s when All in the Family busted out. Now, I love that show. I like that show. But that show crossed some barriers. It crossed some barriers, right? All I'm saying is that we have to begin to truly, truly cast our attention on God, especially in these last days, because these devils, they are being exposed and they are trying everything and anything to hold on to what they have perpetrated against you and I, our kids and our grandkids. That's the reason why I wanted to do this broadcast. Who do you trust?
Yep. And you know how you get that little pit in your stomach when you hear something or you observe something, you get that little pit there. Mm-hmm. That's the Holy Spirit telling you, something's not right. Something's not right. I was talking to my little girl last night and about an incident that happened with her, and we're trying to get to that honesty thing with little Jade, like telling us what's going on. But I told her the reason why we are strict like we are with certain things and certain places she go, and also certain people that hang around her, is because she's so easily to be influenced, or that whole peer pressure thing. So we're trying to teach her about that. But I gave her an example of a time when I went shopping, and it was Burlington's here in Grapevine, and I went shopping for Charlie. So I was just getting all kinds of stuff. I was like, oh my God, this is so cheap. I had a whole basket full of stuff like less than $100 for Father's Day. I was like, oh, he's gonna love this. Well, I kept getting this little feeling right here that somebody was watching me. And I kept going on, and then I kept getting that. And then I saw this guy, and he was just acting like he was doing something in the store. And I said, okay, well, it's just my imagination. But still, that little pit in my stomach wouldn't go away. Mm-hmm. So I moved again, and then I happened to look up, and there he was again. And I said, okay, so he's up to no good. Yep. For some reason, he has targeted me. And so the crazy person that I am, I went over to the shoe department where it was a little bit more open, and I pretended like I was doing something in my bag, and then I turned around and I folded my fists like this, and I spread my legs, and I just stared at him like this. I just stared, and he left. And that's what we need to do. When those things come to us, we need to recognize them, but you cannot know them if you don't know him. You won't be able to recognize that wolf or that devil that comes after you if you don't know him. But if you know him, they will stand out like a sore thumb. You can have your back turned and you can feel them, and you can call that thing out to be removed, as I did. I said nothing, but the action of my body and my stance told that devil to flee, and he did flee.
Right.
And that's what I was trying to teach my daughter. She's not there yet. She's very young and she's very naive. So we're trying to teach her and show her that everything out there is not roses.
That's right.
And everything out there doesn't smell clean. There's a lot of things that's targeting our babies and targeting our youth. And that's why every day and every time my grandbabies are in my presence, Charlie and I will put our hands on it, and we will silently say, no weapons formed against this baby will prosper.
Right.
We say that every time they're in our presence, and we say it every single day when they're out of our presence, because that is the only thing that's going to protect them until they mature enough to be able to do the things that we are able to do now. It takes maturation. Jesus came, he had to learn. He had to go through things. Same with our children. They have to go through things and they have to be taught. But in the meantime, we are here, Mama Bears and Papa Bears here, to protect them.
Right. In prayer, that's right. And even now, our grown kids, our adult kids, we cover them in prayer.
We cover it.
We cover them all the time in prayer, okay? And Jade, I keep telling her, I say, hey, look, this is what my mama used to say, and it's the truth. A hard head makes a soft behind. I'm telling you, a hard head makes a soft behind.
She's going to get there, though. I have faith in her. She respects us. That's one thing. So.
I want to say this about Hollywood. Once again, God has very beautiful and very strategically placed people, a remnant of believers in the entertainment industry. Okay? And things are beginning to really, really be exposed in Hollywood. This is very interesting. I haven't authenticated this yet, but I find this very interesting because I know what God has shown me in the spirit and what is happening. And we know this to be a fact now, that they have done, all of these weird parties and rituals that's taking place. It's not a conspiracy. They can no longer cast this off as a conspiracy theory. These people are wicked, man. Not everyone. I want to tell you that because we have some very close friends that are in Hollywood and that's doing great. And they are not part of this ugliness that's going on. God has placed them there. Okay? God has placed them there and God is using them. But check this out.
All of whom I have worked with and was close to. Heath Ledger, Chris Penn, David Carradine among them. I believe these actors were whacked, and I believe that many others, such as Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, and Mel Gibson, are being played to get at their money.
Okay? Now, some people have said, oh, this man is crazy. But Heath Ledger dying right after he did Batman, the Dark Knight Rises. It was called The Dark Knight. It was called The Dark Knight. And his performance of the Joker was over the top. It was just phenomenal. And so many blamed that, it was the residual of him going on into that dark side and everything. It was very strange how he died. It was very strange how he died. Okay, Chris Penn, yeah, he was a little overweight, but it was kind of strange how he died. There's several people that have died in Hollywood that I think is very strange. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be bold in saying it, okay? Kobe Bryant, okay? Very strange that the helicopter that he was flying in, which was state of the art, it didn't matter if it was a foggy day. It didn't matter that it was what they call marine layer. They deal with marine layer in Southern California all the way up to Northern California and Frisco all the time. That's the norm. There's always marine layer. That's simply clouds, okay? And it's not rain, it's just a marine layer. It was thick that day, but he had state of the art helicopter. Tricked out, man. And it crashes into the side of a mountain, okay? I just find that very, very strange. Other people that, that we can talk about just came to my mind and went out of my head. But these people have died, it's just strange how all of a sudden they were taken out.
Yep, and a lot of them, they're just about to tap into something that can be exposing to other people.
I know, left eye.
Yeah.
Left eye, okay, of TLC. Okay, Left Eye. Tell me what you heard about Left Eye and the discovery that she made.
Well, I'm thinking the guy's name is Sebastian, but it was Trilogy. I think it is what it's called. I'll have to look it up now because I don't have it in my notes.
Is off the cuff. I'm just
But she was into this natural substance that had a miraculous healing component to it, and then all of a sudden she ended up dead, basically. And the doctor, he's also dead.
Yeah.
So it's just kind
dead.
of like, why are all these people that are trying to expose the truth about pharmaceutical companies and different compounds suddenly become dead. They're gone, tragically gone. So, and another thing I was going to say is when you just talked about Kobe Bryant, let's just think about that whole thing. How many flights did that guy have that he didn't know that he needed to rise up to not go into that mountain? Even if he didn't have certain things on that aircraft, he knew, because he has flown multiple times, because Kobe used that helicopter all the time. So you didn't know that mountain was there when you took off?
Do you remember
naturally?
Do you remember that cartoon? I'm not going to look for it now, but The Simpsons. They have been very strangely predicting different things that happen, and we did a broadcast about this. And see, I see a divide here. I see that when they did Trump coming down his escalator in Trump Tower, that was prophetic. They had no idea, because see, that took place. That cartoon was played like in 2012 or something like that, 2010. It was 3 to 5 years before Trump came down the escalator. So that right there was God doing something. God has used Hollywood in some very interesting ways. And we have people, like I said, I have friends that if they could be on this broadcast right now, they'll tell you that what I am saying is right about how God has taken over and shown something and has breathed upon projects in Hollywood without them even knowing that it was the finger of God doing it. But on the flip side of that, they've had cartoons that have predicted the death of the Queen Mother, okay, Princess Diana, all right, Kobe Bryant, all right. They have predicted this, and those are very strange. I'm just saying, people, things are beginning to really and truly be exposed, and these people are freaking out. They have dubbed Randy Quaid as being someone silly, but he's not. They tried to dub Cat Williams as being someone silly, but that man is a very smart man. He's got a very high IQ. He's part of the Mensa Society. Yeah. You don't become the part of the Mensa Society and you are not smart. That man knows what he's talking about, okay? I'm not saying that I agree with everything that he's saying, but he is not crazy. He is not crazy. Guys, it's time for us to truly trust in the Lord, okay? It's really time for us to do this. Now, I'm going to end with this. We are at 38 minutes, sweetie. It's not too long. I'm going to end with this.
I'm going to get him a shirt. I'm not going to be long.
Here's the purpose. We don't have large audiences that view our, product, our content. We really don't. And we really don't mind about that. Like we said, 1, chase 1,000, 2, 10,000. Guys, the reason why you and we are here is we are here to reap this end time harvest. Guys, without a doubt, Jesus is coming back very soon. Is that 2 years from now? Nah, maybe not. Maybe. Is it 10 years from now? Nah, maybe not. Maybe. You see, we don't know. I'm reading scriptures now. Well, I'm reading scripture now out of Luke. I'm in Luke chapter 12. And this is what Jesus is talking about. Being prepared, knowing when the bridegroom comes. Be set and ready, because you know not the hour that he comes. And this is where we are at, everyone. It's time for us to be ready. That's the reason why God has come up on me to fast. And he told me several reasons to fast. But one of the reasons that I'm going to bring forth is that he wants our vessels, this body, our vessels, our spirit, our soul, to be full of the oil of God, the oil of the Spirit. Because when things begin to pop off, when things begin to really shake, there are going to be a lot of frightened people out there. There are going to be a lot of confused people. Those people that ask the questions, why is it that God does this? Why did a tornado come through and kill all of these children and kill all of these people? They blame God for it. No, we have the answers to those hard questions, but you have to be full of him because things are going to get crazy. And this is not designed for no man. Even though I'm not a big fan of AI, but there's, like I said, there are some things that God is using with AI. Guys, I want you to see, they asked and posed this question to AI. Say, AI, what's your vision or your visual of hell? I want you to see this. Let me get rid of that, and then we're going to enlarge that. Check this out, guys. This is quite disturbing, and I think it's 100 times worse than this. Let me start it over because I didn't have the volume up. Here you go. Yeah. And I think it's 100 times, 1,000 times even worse than that. I want to open up and give the opportunity for someone, if you've watched this and you're watching us for the first time and you just saw this and you were saying, oh my goodness, or whatever it is, if this affected you, okay? And if you are not saved, let me tell you something, that's very close to what eternal damnation is going to be like. It's very close, very close. I think it's 1,000 times worse. We can't even fathom what that second death is going to be like. The book of Romans, it talks about hell, fire. Throughout the Bible, it talks about hell, and that's a place that was not designated for God's greatest creation. Those of us that are created in his image and according to his likeness. Because we are his children. He's a loving father. It grieves his heart to see and to know that many will go to that place. So that's why he sent us here. And this is why I'm opening up the opportunity for someone that's watching this and you haven't called on the name of Christ. I'm going to give you the opportunity to do this right now, because that place that we just showed you is not for you. Some may ask the question, well, why would God create hell anyway? Why would he do that? Well, because of the fallen angels, because of Satan and those that rebelled. That place was designated for them, but it's not designated for man. Because if you really knew the heart of Satan and those fallen angels and how they really feel, we don't know hatred. We don't know evil really until you look into the eyes. If you could look into the eyes of Satan himself, and he is real, and those fallen demons, if you looked into their eyes, it's an evil, it's a hatred, it's a horror that nothing in Hollywood can produce. We can't even fathom in our minds the depth of horror and evil and hatred is within Satan and those of the kingdom of darkness. That's why that place is such a detriment. That's why it's such a place that will bring them such terror above and beyond the terror that's already in them. This is not designed for you and I. This is not designed for us that were created in his image and according to his likeness. So I'm giving you the opportunity to call on the name of the Lord. It's very simple. All you have to do is just repeat after me. Believe this in your heart. And just say this, that Lord Jesus, I believe that you lived. I believe that you died. And I believe that you came out of that grave for me.
Yes.
And so I receive you. Come into my heart. Come into my life. Make my walk of death without you now become the walk of life in you.
Yes.
I believe it with my heart. I'm confessing it with my mouth. And now, Lord Christ, I know that I am saved.
Yes.
If you need to rewind it and pray it just like that, do it. You don't even have to pray it the way I prayed it. Just confess that he is Lord. Confess he lived and he died and he resurrected for you. Just confess that.
Yep.
And you have now become a man or woman that is walking the path of life now. No longer walking that path toward that place that we just showed you.
Yep.
You are free. Those of you that know him, share this video with an unloved one. An unsaved one. Share this video with someone that's unsaved.
And put in the comments too if you want us to pray for somebody in particular.
Yes.
And we'll do that because when we do go live with this, we do monitor it and we can see the comments and we can comment at the same time, which is sometimes a good thing too.
Right.
Because it's hard for us to do that while we're doing the taping. But when we do a pre-record, we can look at the comments that you're making and then correspond with you and also be praying for your family members or friends.
So please do this, okay? Hey, guys, we love you. I'm so glad that you're back. And continue to
Literally,
pray for...
I'm so glad you're back.
Yeah.
Because it's my back.
Yeah. But continue to pray for her. And because she has a lot that God is not only doing through her, but there's a lot that God wants to pour out upon her. And I believe this is why this attack has been so vicious against her. To keep her discouraged, to keep her, I don't feel like doing, I have this, I have that. No, continue to lift her up like I do. And let's lift each other up. And I'm going to ask you to continue to fast. We're not talking about a major fast. She can tell you, this is not a major fast that I'm doing. But I'm cutting different things out. I'm cutting, different things out that I've done regularly.
Yeah.
And that's what God has directed me to do. Ask God what it is that you should fast. Fast, guys, because things are getting quite crazy. Okay? Yeah. All right. Hey, we love you guys. You are truly in a beautiful future, and you look so much better than all this garbage. And when Jesus is in effect, Jesus is truly by your side. We put that devil in check. We see you guys next time on Two Doves Confirmed. Peace.
This is
Yo, ask for what future focus. Turn away from the hocus pocus. Like pro-choice to pro-life. No looking back, Lot's wife. Believe me when I say this, there is no condemnation. I simply wanna protect the lives of this next generation. His love, it covers all.